Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Gonna finish this short series on my thoughts about MGTOW philosophy today. Men going their own way. That's what it stands for. I know a lot of men have never heard of it still, but among a certain sector, it is out there, as I think men are tired of getting, they think ripped off in divorce, untreated or fairly, not treated fairly, one-sided divorce court favoring women almost all of the time. More reasons to stay single and avoid marriage than getting married. Even people telling their children not to get married. It's like, don't make the mistakes I made. Instead of learning from them, don't get married. Well, if I had children, I would certainly want them to get married. I've said before, I think people should get married as soon as they could get married if they think about the benefits. Marriage is supposed to have benefits. So another comment here that you'll hear is women don't care what you think or want. You get married, and all of a sudden, somehow, the woman you married doesn't care what you think or want. And there's a lot of these statements that are kind of thrown out there that are supposed to apply to every woman on the face of the earth. But if a woman doesn't care what you think or want, I'm certain you wouldn't have married her. And you should always communicate what you want. And there should be open communication about what we think, not in a controlling way, not in a criticizing way. You have to be careful with your words and your motivation in marriage. But why would a woman not care what you think? I just really don't understand that one. Other people comment, just go overseas and get a Bargirl, not wife, Bargirl, basically prostitute. I don't see that as being a solution to anything except more trouble, more loneliness, STDs, and your life slipping away as you waste it on Bargirls and selfishness instead of investing it in another person where you can have success. Then there's this comment about a dead fish phenomenon, which has to do with a wife's disinterest in sex, even though she's having sex with her husband. Like laying there like a dead fish. Well, communication, what's going on here? Why is that? Is she too tired? Is she tired of put downs? Is she not getting help around the house? Is she getting older? Is she going through menopause? But yeah, that wouldn't be very exciting. And so it needs to be talked about, because that would seem to indicate there's some kind of a problem. I made this comment that being a husband is like a coach, in that a coach chooses who to recruit. He scouts them, or somebody does, vets them, gets to know them, and then decides to offer them a scholarship. These days in college sports, you or somebody pays them money to play for you. And so if he hires, or in his case, hires or recruits someone and they just don't work out, they weren't who they thought they were, well, it's kind of on him, just like a husband marries somebody, and this goes for me too. And if it doesn't work out, he's the one that married her. I'm the one that proposed to her. I have something to do with that. At least I didn't make a good choice from the start, and that's on me. Did this coach train right? Well, did the husband nurture his wife properly? Did the coach lead this player, or did he get complacent? Does the husband lead his wife? Continue to every day after marriage? What about motivation? Sometimes players are good. Coach doesn't motivate them. As a husband, am I motivating my wife? Sometimes coaches are impatient, yell and scream at their players, and sometimes husbands do that with wives. Got to be patient. Got to watch what you say. Did a coach provide the player with everything he needed to be successful? If not, again, that's on the coach. Did the husband provide the wife everything she needs for, like, emotional security, sexual intimacy, financial security. Doesn't mean she has to be rich. Just means she doesn't want to have any worries. Does she feel safe and protected? If those things aren't happening, the marriage might end, and somehow it seems like the men tend to blame the women for every divorce in history. I've heard of 2 men that have been married 3 times and divorced 3 times, and they both said they did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Amazing. What bad luck. So I'm being facetious. And then the last one here I'll talk about is, you hear this a lot. You hear, well, I got to make a good choice of who to marry, so you just got to try them on first. Try them out for size. And of course, they're talking about sex because I want to make sure we're compatible. And I'm not sure what that means either, because men and women, their bodies are designed for compatibility. If they get, generally men, if they're going to marry somebody or they're interested in somebody and the 2 of them are interested in each other and they get married, there's some sexual interest there. I don't think you have to try on anybody. Talk. Don't try them on. That's using them. That's abusing them. That's misusing them. Their body doesn't belong to you, and yours doesn't belong to them. Sex belongs to married people, not because I said so, but because God says so. As a Christian, I have to believe that whatever God says is true, and it's best for me, and so that's why I teach that here. So I try not to fall out of my chair, which just slid away. So trying on is a bad idea. Why not get married and make it work? You always have to communicate in sex. There's nothing to be ashamed about there. You just talk about it. Okay, here's what I'd like for me. What would you like me to do for you? Is this going well? Is this enough? What do you need for me and you to have a good sexual relationship? And somewhere in the past, I heard the quote, sex starts at breakfast. And so, of course, that means first thing in the morning, your demeanor, your speech, how you treat her goes a long way towards whether she's even going to feel like being intimate with her husband. If he's going to criticize the way she makes food, criticize the way she raises or dresses her children, criticize her appearance, scold her for something, raise his voice, belittle her in some way. What woman would want to sleep with a man like that? And you know what? Try the exact opposite and see where you get as a husband. Try them on for size. I don't know. I didn't try my wife on for size. And, you just start from day one. You I guess, make your mistakes. You make them together. You laugh about it. And you're not comparing the woman you married to all the women you slept with before. That's not fair to her. If you had a woman, if you're a man and a woman says, I'm going to try you on for size, you're going to find that to be offensive. She's had sex with all these women, and you say, well, maybe I can't compete. That's not fair. No, it's not fair for a man to try a woman on for size either. Why not just get married and go from there, communicate your needs, be good to each other, be kind to each other, be patient with each other, try to be each other's biggest supporter, things like that. So, I'm under a minute to go here. So this is the last of 3 videos, just my thoughts I just put together about men going their own way. In the past, there was a lot of volatility, not volatility, maybe that's not the right word, but a lot of blowback when people criticized, I guess that's what I'm doing, men going their own way, that philosophy. And I thought maybe things had calmed down, but MGTOW is still alive and well. Nobody has killed it yet, and I'm still a big proponent of marriage. Just marry the right person, choose wisely. That's all I have time for here on Love Beyond the Sea.